The village of Umwagu was a place where the sky stretched wide over vast savannas, and the rhythm of life moved slowly, like the meandering river that ran through the heart of the village. Children played in the dust beneath the shade of baobab trees, while women and men worked tirelessly to tend their farms. The land was fertile, but the beauty of Umwagu was not just in its soil, it was in the heart of its people. Among these people lived Amara and her twin sister, Adiz. They shared more than just their looks, they shared a bond that was once inseparable. But over the years, the connection that had once been a source of joy for them began to fray at the edges. Amara, a kind-hearted, introverted 18-year-old girl, had always been known for her talent in art. She painted the world as she saw it, filled with colors and emotions. But the village, with its strong traditions, had its own standards of beauty, and Amara did not quite fit them. Her fuller figure was often the subject of ridicule, not just from her peers, but also from the one person who should have been her greatest ally, her twin sister, Adiz. Adiz, slender and graceful, had become the center of attention, admired by everyone. Her beauty, her outgoing nature, and her ability to captivate the crowd had earned her the admiration of nearly every person in Umwagu. Amara's body, though beautiful in its own right, was often seen as the opposite of Adiz. And Adiz, in her quest for popularity, began to mock her own twin, mocking her body, her art, and everything that made Amara unique. Growing up, Amara and Adiz had always been close. They would play by the river, weaving stories in the tall grass and imagining worlds far beyond the borders of their small village. In the evenings, they would sit with their mother, Mama Ngozi, and listen to her tell them about the strong women in their heritage, women who had defied expectations and thrived in a world that was not kind to them. But as they entered high school, their paths began to diverge. Adiz was quick to make friends, using her beauty and charm to win people over. She became popular, often surrounded by a group of girls who shared her love for gossip and high society events. Amara, on the other hand, stayed true to her artistic passions, spending more time alone with her brushes and paints than in the bustling social circles that Adiz enjoyed. The first sign of the shift came one afternoon, when Amara sat in the courtyard of their home, painting a portrait of their mother. Adiz, with her friends, passed by and sneered at the sight. "Who would want to look at that?" Adiz laughed, her voice high and mocking. "Why waste your time, Amara? You're just fooling yourself with those silly paintings." Amara's heart sank. Her sister's words, once a source of comfort, now felt like daggers. She had always looked up to Adiz, but in that moment she realized that her sister's popularity came with a cost. And that cost was her own self-worth. The turning point came when Amara was invited to display her paintings at the Umwagu Arts and Culture Festival, a prestigious event that would bring together the best artists from the region. It was an opportunity of a lifetime, one that could launch her into a future she had always dreamed of. But when she shared the news with Adiz, she was met with laughter. "You? At the festival?" Adiz scoffed. "Please, Amara, you're just wasting your time. No one wants to see your childish drawings. You're just embarrassing yourself." Amara felt her stomach twist. It was hard enough dealing with the taunts from other students at school, but to hear it from Adiz, her twin, her blood, hurt more than she could put into words. Despite the sting, Amara made up her mind. She would go to the festival and show the world that her art was worth something. She would prove that she was more than just the body she had been born into. The day of the festival arrived, and the village was alive with excitement. The square was filled with colorful stalls, musicians playing drums, and people from neighboring villages gathering to witness the talents of Umwagu's finest. Amara set up her paintings, each one a reflection of her inner world, bright, bold, and raw with emotion. Adiz, with her friends in tow, strolled through the festival, her laughter echoing across the square. When she saw Amara's work on display, she couldn't help but laugh. "Seriously, Amara?" Adiz said, loud enough for everyone to hear. "This is what you're wasting your time on? It's pathetic." Amara stood there, feeling the weight of her sister's words on her chest. The crowd, some of them people she had known all her life, looked on. She felt small, invisible in the midst of her sister's mockery. But then something unexpected happened. Chief Uzachukwu, the village leader, came over to admire Amara's art. He was an older man, wise beyond years, with a reputation for appreciating true talent, no matter where it came from. "These are beautiful," the chief said, his voice low but filled with admiration. "Your work speaks volumes. It's a gift, young one." Amara's heart swelled with pride. She had been seen. Not by her sister, not by her peers, but by someone who truly understood her art. The mockery from Adiz seemed to fade into the background as Amara stood tall, knowing that she had found her purpose. While Amara's art began to earn respect, Adiz's popularity continued to rise. She became the center of every conversation, her beauty and charm making her the most sought-after girl in the village. She reveled in the attention, but the more her popularity grew, the crueler she became, especially towards Amara. One day, while walking through the village with her friends, Adiz passed by Amara, who was sitting on the steps of their home, sketching. "Look at you, Amara," Adiz sneered, "still with your silly little drawings. When will you learn that no one cares about that stuff? You're just too fat to be anything. No one will ever look at you like they look at me." Her words cut deep. Amara, who had already been struggling with her body image, felt the weight of her sister's cruelty more than ever. Adiz, the one person who should have been her protector, had become her greatest source of pain. Amara reached her breaking point one afternoon when she overheard Adiz and her friends laughing about her again. She had just finished a beautiful piece of art, a portrait of the village children playing by the river, and was bringing it to the community center for display when she overheard Adiz say, "Who would ever want to look at a fat girl's drawings? She'll never be good enough." Tears welled up in Amara's eyes. She ran to the riverbank, the place where she had always found peace. There, she broke down, sobbing uncontrollably. She had always tried to be strong, to ignore the mockery, but it was too much. The cruelty of her own twin had broken her spirit. It was then that Shinonso, her childhood friend, found her. Shinonso was always there when Amara needed someone, and she sat beside her on the banks of the river, offering her comfort. "You are worth so much more than this, Amara," Shinonso said softly. "Your art is beautiful. You're beautiful. Don't let anyone, especially Adiz, tell you otherwise. You are your own person." Amara wiped her tears and looked at her friend. Shinonso's words sank deep into her heart, and a sense of clarity began to take root. She didn't need her sister's approval. She didn't need anyone's approval. She just needed to be true to herself. That night, after a long day of silence, Amara confronted Adiz. "Why do you do this?" she asked, her voice calm but filled with hurt. "Why do you mock me? I'm your sister, Adiz. You're supposed to be the one who supports me, not the one who makes me feel worthless." Adiz, taken aback, didn't know how to respond at first. She had been so consumed by her desire for popularity that she had never stopped to think about how much her words hurt her sister. But when she looked into Amara's eyes, filled with pain and betrayal, something in her broke. "I'm sorry," Adiz whispered. "I was wrong. I never realized how much I was hurting you." For the first time, Amara saw true regret in her sister's eyes. "I'll do better, Amara. I promise," Adiz said, her voice soft. Amara continued to pursue her art, her confidence growing with each new piece she created. Her work began to gain recognition, not just in the village but beyond. Adiz, now humbled by the realization of her cruelty, supported her sister, attending her art displays and even helping her sell her paintings at local markets. Their bond, though tested, began to heal. They were no longer just twin sisters. They were two women, each learning to live authentically and without fear. Amara had found her voice, and Adiz had learned the value of kindness, humility, and the importance of family. Amara's art flourished, and as she painted the beauty of the world, she knew that she had conquered the greatest challenge of all, learning to love herself, despite the mockery of others.